Hi everybody and welcome back to my modeling channel. So today we're going to review a modification kit, an A340 modified to a 600 version in 2009. So for this I used the basic Revell kit for the A340 and a BrazModel modification kit. So for this, as you can see, I had to do a lot of mod, cut the fuselage in many parts, change the wings, and that was quite a big of a challenge. It took me about 3 months. So as you can see, that's what the kind of gap I had between the fuselage half. I had to use some of the part of the former Revell kit, and just working on that fuselage took me about 10 days, between 10 days and 2 weeks of putty. There was a difference, as you can see, on the diameter and the shape. So what I did, I used many different type of putty, as you can see, and then I was filling down everything and reshape all that fuselage. So I fill up all the passenger window, cockpit window, and as you can see, it was a extremely long taking work. Then I start to work on those engines. The engines were pretty more easier to work with. Of course, there were some little gaps, but I was able to, with a little bit of putty, to do a pretty decent work. But once again, the main issue was that fuselage was really time consuming. Then I started to work on the tail, on the fin, and of course that took a little bit longer to have the proper dimension. After I finished the whole fuselage, I put a coat of silver paint and the issue to see if I had any more remaining issue with the surface. Then I start to work on some antennas and other parts for the engines, and then I start to prepare my to glue the wings to the fuselage. Once again, I had a lot of issues with those gaps. The wings were pretty easy to do. I build the engines, then I put them, and then I remove the tip, the wing tip, and I replace it by some clear part that I scratch build myself. Then I glue the wings, and as you can see, there was a pretty huge gap again between the wing and the fuselage. Some parts were almost 1.5 millimeter. So finally used some super glue, got those wings, and then fill all those gaps with some other putty. And after that, of course, there was a lot of sanding again and again, and sanding down, refilling, resanding until I got a pretty decent result. Then I start the painting job, and for this I start to paint the corrugator initially, then the leading edge with that silver metallic part. Then I put a white coat all over the fuselage, and it took me about another 2 or 3 layers to make sure that the whole aircraft had that nice part. Then I start working on the engines as well. It's the first time I start to detail basically the fan disc when I start modeling, and I wanted to really have a precise model. So I start to work, did the fan disc, the cones, the inside of the engines, and different type of tones. As this was my first A340-600, and I have to say that the kit was quite expensive, so I wanted to have a beautiful result for the money I spent, and that would be my masterpiece in that vitrine. So once the plane was completely covered, I put the undercarriage, managed to glue everything together and put them on that aircraft. And slowly after that we'll start the decaling process. So I also did some more details on that undercarriage, but unfortunately I didn't have a video camera at that time, so everything is by pictures. So after that I start to put those decals. They were made by Draw Decal, and then I'll finish up that livery. So this is the final result of that South African Airways A340-600. I hope you really enjoy that kit with me. It was a really long job that I did. It took me the whole summer basically in 2009. And I really hope you enjoyed that build. I really did at that time. Unfortunately, the plane has been pretty badly damaged during relocation, so I will have to scrap all the paint and rebuild it in another livery, and the wings are bended, so I will use those techniques of hot water, and I will remake it, and I will make another video for that. So thank you for watching, and see you on my next aircraft build.